Seoul Land 212 Original Novel DouLuo DaLu. Chapter 245. Sea Witch, Mermaid Princess? TL by Armored Raven. In full contact, Tang San clearly felt his own soul power being drawn away several times more severely, and in just a blink of an eye, he felt it plummeting. But his face had a trace of smile, for the real surprise was now here. Blue golden light spanned out and massive life force spread out instantly, engulfing not only the sacred pillar platform and the sea, but also the wide forest along the coastline. The massive life force instantly flooded and became boundless nature. 8 golden spears were released from Tang San's back with countless golden threads nimbly combined with the numerous blue-silver emperor. It was blue-silver domain's evolved skill Boundless Nature and 8 spider lances, both of which came out the same time as the domain itself as a combined skill after consuming the golden threads. Blue-silver domain was blue-silver emperor's innate domain. Boosted by the spirit's own innate domain, the blue-silver emperor themselves were thickened in an instant. The soul power that was flowing away stopped suddenly, with every blade of the grass stopping the drain like stingy nobles fighting for their money. When the golden threads were affixed to the blue-silver emperor, the draining of the soul power stopped entirely. The battle has become a close-fought wrestling. The devouring golden threads could not devour the opponent's power, and Sea-Star DouLuo could not devour Tang San's soul power through them as well. Sea-Star DouLuo's devouring power should not be underestimated. Though it was his third spirit skill, it was in fact the innate skill of his battle spirit, plus he also had a spirit bone which had the exact effect. Once this devouring ability was deployed, it would not pale in comparison to his 8th spirit skill. Even Sea Illusion and Seal Ants DouLuos would suffer a sure defeat if they were to be grabbed like this now. Tang San's devouring golden threads seemed to have an impressive devouring effect, but if compared to Sea-Star DouLuo's skill at it, they still had a ways off. However, blue-silver domain's buff and weakening effect closed this gap. Under the pressure of the domain and sea god's light, the golden threads on the grasses would barely manage to break even. The situation started to change however, when Sea-Star DouLuo went all out with his devouring. The scales were starting to tip towards Sea-Star DouLuo. Even so, now would be where he was surprised the most. He couldn't anticipate that this young individual who got the prestige of Sea God 9 trials would have such powerful devouring ability. Tang San dared to use this method to compete with him. The massive body convulsed as Sea-Star DouLuo's 9th spirit ring finally shined. Although blue-silver emperor wrapped around the body, it couldn't completely cover every part of it. The blades of grass that were sucked in had completely turned blue. In the sea, columns of seawater were released like arrows and then sucked in by Sea-Star DouLuo's suckers. Tang San then discovered that Sea-Star DouLuo could use the suckers to filter the seawater and use the energies within to add to his own. Furthermore, the body started becoming slicker while all the suckers were moving irregularly. The devouring continued, but Tang San's golden threads were getting less able to capture Sea-Star DouLuo's body, while the latter's devouring power became increasingly powerful. Several blue halos kept coming from Sea-Star DouLuo's body, and as the suckers turned blue in color, his body had also started becoming solid. In the center of the sea, tentacles came out and surrounded the entire area while every tentacle's suckers were radiating an eye-catching blue glow. The devouring was not only limited to the suckers on Tang San's blue-silver emperor, but the ones on the new tentacles also started devouring, and the target was Tang San's domain's energy. This was Sea-Star DouLuo's 9th spirit skill, 1000 touches 10,000 suctions. Devouring any form of energy within the tentacle's reach, even the domain energies were not exceptions. The energies were then infused to his own, recovering lost energy. Seawater was no doubt his greatest buff. In places which had seawater, the skill's power would increase by 30%. It was an absolutely terrifying 9th spirit skill. The best way to counter this 9th skill was in distance. Using distance instead of close contact to attack him. Not being in the range of his devourment, wait until his skill power would run out, then move in for the kill. Sea-Star DouLuo clearly knew the shortcomings of this spirit skill, therefore, whenever he would deploy this skill, the condition would be that the opponent was already in his devouring range and was already being devoured. Under his 9th spirit skill, the most powerful thing that could be used would also be an ultimate melee skill. Facing Tang San's boundless nature and golden threads devourment, the cautious Sea-Star DouLuo used his strongest skill without hesitation, to prevent further complications. Even the usually calm Tang San wouldn't anticipate that Sea-Star DouLuo's 9th spirit skill would be this insane, which completely abandoned attack power and focused on devouring. It could be said that it would be extremely difficult for flightless spirit masters to come out after entering his area of attack. Because if all forms of your attacks could be devoured of their energies and added to his, then the majority of the attack power would be devoured first, and adding the thickness of his flesh and powerful restorative ability into the equation, even if you had a greater strength, being tangled to death would not be a strange matter. With no other ideas, Tang San made an instant judgment. Even if he should use his strongest attack now, he wouldn't be able to break free. Using teleportation to leave the battlefield was also out of question, since that would mean giving up all of the Blue-Silver Emperor. With great loss of soul power and the main body itself, a continued battle would spell his own defeat. Therefore, he only had one option left, and that was to keep on countering devourment with devourment. Upon eating stimulant pink sausage, the Blue-Silver Emperor glowed intensely after stimulation. At the same time, Tang San ate an erect golden fly. Facing such a freakish opponent, he was forced to give his next action some extra insurance. The 8th spirit ring glowed and dark red waves came out like a torrent, covering every part of DouLuo's body in an instant. The convulsion just now stopped momentarily, but the 9th spirit skill had no signs of disappearing. Blue-Silver Emperor's 8th spirit skill first technique, Blue-Silver Orca's Devil Absorption was activated. Forced initiative, absolute effective technique. 3 seconds long dizziness befell on DouLuo, making his movements stop temporarily. But Tang San's Blue-Silver Emperor and DouLuo's tentacles were tangled, and with the suckers, he could never use these 3 seconds to break free. And Tang San had no such intention, as he braced himself and slammed towards DouLuo like a shooting star towards the moon. Xiao Wu's figure appeared from behind him for this attack as Tang San couldn't use the vast sea barrier to hide her any further. The Blue-Silver Emperor around Xiao Wu's waist was released, which flung her through the gap of DouLuo's tentacles and into the air. DouLuo was still dizzy so he couldn't obstruct her. With a poof, Tang San lat the center of DouLuo's position and didn't touch make close bodily contact. Even so, he could feel the pressure from those giant suckers under him. 8 spider lances stabbed fiercely into DouLuo's body and a bright golden glow shot out. DouLuo's 9th spirit skill was for devouring, and likewise, Tang San's 8 spider lances were his strongest spirit bone that was used for devouring. As an externally attached spirit bone, up until now, besides the golden threads and for direct attacks, 8 spider lances could be said to have just one devouring skill. The majority of the toxins it had was due to Tang San's consumption of 2 extreme enchanted herbs. This was Tang San's all-or-nothing gamble. Under the effects of erect golden fly, 8 spider lances devouring power was ramped up to 150%. Fearsome devouring power burst forth in an instant. Though 3 seconds were short, for Tang San it was enough. In the first second, he landed on DouLuo's body, then in the next 2 seconds, he could clearly see that DouLuo's body was drying up rapidly under the fearsome devouring effect of the 8 spider lances. Tang San used all of his energy for devouring, and 8 spider lances toxins made quick way into DouLuo's body. Back when he was facing Deep Sea Demon Whale, Tang San also used 8 spider lances to inflict great damage. Now that his strength was 2 spirit rings greater, and after eating the erect golden fly, the lance's devouring power had a considerable increase. The lances couldn't compare with DouLuo when it came to wide area devourment, but it was another story if it was a small area instead. Unless DouLuo's suckers could be stacked together, then they couldn't be compared to the lances. In just 2 short seconds, Tang San devoured as much spirit power from the dizzy DouLuo as the amount he spent using Blue-Silver Orca Devil's absorption, while the toxins managed to enter DouLuo's body as well. He knew that DouLuo had the ability to use poison, so his poison resistance would be considerable, on top of being a tidal DouLuo. Even if the 8 spider lances had toxins, they wouldn't just take his life right off. That's why Tang San attacked in such a way without reservations. With the 8 spider lances point of entry as the focus, the gigantic starfish was becoming dry from the middle while convulsing. When DouLuo came to consciousness after dizziness, he was taken by complete surprise. Spirit power and life force were fading away rapidly from 8 wounds, while extreme cold and heat, polarizing sensations that could turn anyone insane with pain, were spreading inside the body, paralyzing his 5 limbs for a moment. The spirit power's flow slowed down, while keeping up the 9th spirit skill became difficult. When he felt that the 8 spider lances could bring such terrifying sensations after piercing his body, DouLuo panicked. He struggled with all his might, intending to knock Tang San away with his movements. But, Tang San stuck on him firmly like a festering maggot as the limbs were fastened onto the body by the Blue-Silver Emperor. The more the struggle, the faster the loss of soul power and life force. In exact opposite, as the devouring dragged on, Tang San's blue-golden light became brighter. After taking in massive amounts of energy, the earlier losses were rapidly compensated. Even the devouring golden threads could gradually suppress the powerless tentacles. Facing the opponent that could counter he himself in a certain caliber, Tang San chose the most proper fighting style, and finally got the lead after using 8 spider lances which evolved several times, taking full and firm control of the entire situation. Sea-Star DouLuo's body gradually became half scorching hot, and half freezing cold. His defenses and self-recovery were powerful, but he was completely helpless upon facing such fearsome toxins. He could only delay the speed of the spread, but he couldn't stop the devouring of his energies. At this point the battle's outcome was decided. Xiao Wu descended slowly from mid-air, and Tang San even used a blue-silver emperor to wrap around her waist, supporting her descent. Now he didn't even let Xiao Wu's soul enter her body. It was better to have options when there were still 2 more challenges ahead. The 8 spider lances under the effects of erect golden fly was too terrifying, to the point that Sea-Star DouLuo's 9th spirit skill broke down. The tentacles in the sea fell down quickly and the sucker's color were fading. Even his own body was shrinking rapidly as he condensed his energies to halt the advance of the devouring and toxins. Admit defeat, senior. After saying that, Tang San suddenly stopped the devouring and didn't keep it up. Because he clearly felt Sea-Star DouLuo's heartbeats. Finding the opponent's heart meant that Sea-Star DouLuo had no more strength to protect himself. If this went on, there would be an irreversible damage. I lost. A somewhat weak voice came. Though Sea-Star DouLuo wasn't happy, he was also not too upset. After all, 4 other partners before him also suffered similar fates. The 8 spider lances didn't leave Sea-Star DouLuo's body, but quickly took back the ice and flame toxins while returning the life force that was taken instead. Of course, Tang San wouldn't return the spirit power that was taken since Sea-Star DouLuo could always get it back through meditation, and Tang San needed it to compensate for what he used in this trial. With an ripping sound, the 8 spider lances left Sea-Star DouLuo's body, and the massive starfish of a body quickly shrinked back to human form, which was the weird man seen at the beginning. That power you used on me was from an external spirit bone. Sea-Star DouLuo's voice was very hoarse, and sounded very uncomfortable. Grabbing Xiao Wu, Tang San nodded, it was my external spirit bone, 8 spider lances. With a sigh, Sea-Star DouLuo muttered, no wonder. My most deft devouring skill lost to yours. My defeat is without objections. You won. Tang San already showed him mercy and didn't bring him real harm, so he wouldn't find any issue in all of this. While he said that, his left hand extended in length and smacked on the sacred pillar. Just then, star-shaped slivers of light flowed out of the pillar and landed on Tang San and Xiao Wu. The test of the 5th sacred pillar was finally passed. After thanking Sea-Star DouLuo, Tang San carried Xiao Wu on his back and returned to the coast without rest, and hurried to the next stop after rendezvous with their companions. Next up, they had to face the last couple of challenges, which would undoubtedly be the hardest among all 7. Tang San had to face the most powerful of Sacred Pillar Guardians, the Sea Dragon DouLuo at the very end, and Zhu Zuqing in Black Class 5th Trial had to undergo her own final test as well. For the last test, she had to face what was considerably harder than other Black Class tests. After passing it, she would be regarded as having the Sea God's approval and become one of Sea God Island's members. The prestige would also be the same as Guardian DouLuo of the 7 Sacred Pillars. When traversing the forest, Tang San spoke to Zhu Zuqing, Zuqing, don't force yourself in the next challenge. If things don't go well, then admit defeat to conserve your strength. After I defeat the Sea Witch, you will be able to win after trying again as well. Zhu Zuqing knew of Tang San's good intentions of course. She looked at the nodding daimyo and let out a smile with her cold face, thank you, Sanji, but I believe I can succeed. You've done so much for us in the earlier tests. It is appropriate that I repay you. Don't forget, besides you and Mubai, my spirit power is the highest. Zhu Zuqing's current spirit power was level 78. As Dai Mubai managed to make it past level 80, the next one to break through the stage of Spirit DouLuo would be her. As the team's genuine agility attack spirit master, she wouldn't give in that easily. Perhaps she didn't have Dai Mubai's resilient body, or Ma Hongjun's fearsome burst of strength, but she had the speed they didn't have. Tang San wouldn't dampen Zhu Zuqing's confidence. He looked at Rong Rong and said, how about you, Rong Rong? Can you still hold up? Ning Rongrong also took part in 3 challenges. She seemed to just support others behind them, but in fact, her consumption of spirit power was the greatest except for Tang San. For the victory of companions, she had to give it her all. With Oscar's sausages as guarantee, every time Tang San fought alone he could rest for a time. But she wasn't like Tang San who had cleared his 8 extraordinary meridians and could recover spirit power anytime anywhere, so her state was far from the one before. Still, she nodded, for only the final battle was left. After assisting Zhu Zuqing, she would also complete her own 5th trial. Tang San didn't say anything else and everyone rushed on. Dai Mubai rested after the 2 battles earlier and recovered his spirit power after Oscar's sausage. He engaged his white tiger transformation and took Ning Rongrong, Oscar and Zhu Zuqing on their way. When they arrived at the 6th sacred pillar, the Sea Witch sacred pillar, the golden light in the sky showed that the time had passed the 16th hour. From how it looked, there was still enough time, while Tang San still had 56 hours to complete the later challenges. Tang San couldn't rest, for the outcome of this battle was very important. It concerned whether Zhu Zuqing could pass all of her tests and offer further consultation. His soul power had recovered up to 80% after all the devouring earlier, but the fatigue he experienced in the previous 5 battles was far from soothed. Every battle was about facing title DouLuo class powerful opponents, and the Sea Illusion DouLuo battle was especially taxing. Even with boundless level spiritual force, he still felt fatigued. Fortunately there was plenty of time. Until the 6th battle was over, he would have enough time to rest. The Sea Witch Sacred Pillar's platform had an incredibly simple form, as it was just a square. But the pillar itself at the center of the platform was different from the others. Rather than a pillar, it should be called a statue. The exterior was like an ivory color. A statue of a maiden, kneeling on top of the platform with both hands clasped together before the chest, facing the sea god hall in prayers. Although it was a statue, the devout look on the face was vivid and lifelike. At the edge of the platform, a young girl sat there. What was surprising was that she had a large fishtail. A beautiful arc extended to the waist. Her fishtail was hitting the surface of the sea light, and the upper body was clad in a black shirt without covering the midriff. She had large sky-colored eyes, and rather than the ocean, her face would be like the beauty of the blue sky, as her lips formed a constant smile while the fishtail slapped continuously on the sea water with glee. Feeling the arrival of the Shrek 7 devils, she raised her head and looked towards the coast side. "Are you here to challenge me?" Her voice came like it had the ringing of bells. The pleasant-sounding voice couldn't raise any hostilities in anyone. The young girl appeared to be so, but everyone knew that as the guardian DouLuo of the sacred pillar, Sea Witch pillar, her actual age wouldn't be much less than those of other guardian DouLuos. Tang San bowed down and said, "We've come to ask senior's guidance. Please be lenient." "Okay. I'll start off easy." This surprised everyone, as this Sea Witch DouLuo actually nodded and consented, while no ulterior movements could be seen from her look of naivete. The Shrek 7 devils all thought, "Is she really this young? What are you weirded out about? No need to feel that way. I'm not a human, but part of the mermaid race. Half human half sea spirit beast I suppose. We mermaid females will never get old. I'm not a monster." Hee hee. Sea Witch DouLuo giggled as she explained. After hearing what she said, while everyone didn't pay it much attention, Tang San's expression changed drastically, mind reading. Sea Witch DouLuo was also surprised when looking at Tang San, "Yet you actually saw through my innate ability. Looks like you're strong. This is bad, I might lose today. Why can't I see through your heart?" Her beautiful expression was centered by curiosity, and she soon saw Tang San's golden trident brand on his forehead, which caught her off guard. "I see, you're that human who had the honor of getting the Sea God 9 trials. With the protection of Sea God's light, no wonder I can't see through you. You're all very bad, you want to beat me by relaying. How can you stand for it?" Looking at Sea Witch's joking nature, the Shrek 7 devils were speechless, and the one struck the most was Dai Mubai. This Sea Witch no doubt had a great charm to her. He would rather struggle against Sealance DouLuo and not willing to face such an opponent. Fortunately, this challenge was to be taken by Zhu Zuqing, a female. "This is our test. It doesn't matter whether we can stand for it or otherwise." Zhu Zuqing's cold voice broke Sea Witch's voice. Taking Ning Rongrong and soaring through the surface of the sea, they landed before the sacred pillar after a few jumps. Sea Witch didn't have the slightest intention of attacking them and just stared with wide-eyed curiosity, you're beautiful, you two big sisters. It's my first time seeing girls as beautiful as I am. This wasn't self-exaggeration. In terms of looks, she really was on the same level as Zhu Zuoqing and Ning Rongrong, even more when the two women didn't have the grace of the sea. Zhu Zuoqing shielded Rongrong behind her. While unleashing her own spirit, Ning Rongrong couldn't help but ask, "Big sister. Let me ask senior, what age are you now?" Sea Witch DouLuo twiddled her fingers naively as the long fish tail raised from the sea water, landing on the platform before turning into a pair of legs with a black long skirt covering them. "I can't remember. Something like 96 or 97. Wah, big sis, your expression is so unpleasant. I'm not saying you're old since we mermaids have 5 times the lifespan of you humans. According to your calculations, I'm not even 20. Calling you big sisters should be appropriate, right? Look, this statue was my ancestor. When we leave seawater, we turn into human in appearance but only for a short amount of time, otherwise we die. My grandpa is now the chief of mermaids. He said I have exceptional talent just once in 10,000 years, so he sent me to guard this sacred pillar. But it's so boring here. I don't like this monotonous life, but I can't leave here. You two big sisters, since you're so beautiful, let's not fight like we're killing each other, okay? I'll blow you a tune. When it's over, you'll pass. How's that?" Her left hand moved a bit, and a black short flute appeared in her grasp. She spinned it around and took it to her lips with both hands. "Don't let her blow it and attack immediately. Wrong, no domain. Attack in full force." Tang San didn't use telepathy, but screamed it out. Zhu Zuoqing and Ning Rongrong had their hostilities lowered by Sea Witch's words, but Tang San's voice was like an absolute command for them. Almost on a reflex, Zhu Zuoqing kicked out and turned into a series of afterimages to attack Sea Witch. Ning Rongrong's 9 treasure glazed tile pagoda also appeared, and the first buff on Zhu Zuoqing was agility. Zhu Zuoqing's body became illusory for a moment. Razor-sharp cat claws were set to grab on Sea Witch's wrists and black flute. Sea Witch's brows curled as the light of her surroundings became a mirage. 9 neatly positioned spirit rings appeared around the black flute. The second spirit ring glowed, and in the mirage, her figure became wavy. Although she couldn't completely avoid Zhu Zuoqing's rapid attacks, the black flute in her hand resisted 3 blows, repelling Zhu Zuoqing's cat claws. She glared at Tang San at the coast. "You are a bad person. Not even a single tender thought for the fairer sex. So mean. My flute's tune is very good, you know." Although she said that, Zhu Zuoqing and Ning Rongrong's expressions had darkened. When the 9 spirit rings appeared on the black flute, they knew they fell for a trap just now. If they really let Sea Witch play a tune, no one could tell what would happen next. Sea Witch didn't seem to mind being caught on one bit. Her figure slipped off while evading and blocking Zhu Zuoqing's attacks at the same time. She spoke a little urgently, "Big sisters, don't listen to that bad person. Just listen to my tune. It's very nice." Zhu Zuoqing didn't pay her attention, but her mind was gradually being filled. This Sea Witch didn't use a lot to block against her attacks, and she appeared to be a tool spirit master. The difficulty of this challenge would be worryingly great. Under Zhu Zuoqing's hail of attacks, Sea Witch was somehow displeased and curled her lips. "This big sis, how can you be like this? You're a girl. Why are you so rude like those guys? But, I won't blame you still. Have a tune." While saying that, Sea Witch's body slipped in a flash, avoided Zhu Zuoqing's cat claws, vaulted backwards and fell towards the sea. Zhu Zuoqing wouldn't let her opponent off easily, so she chased fiercely. Third spirit skill Hell Execution erupted in an instant. Using Ning Rongrong's speed and attack buff, even when this was just her third spirit skill, for swift attack spirit masters, having this speed would also mean greater increase of attack power. Black figure in the air chased Sea Witch in the middle of backflipping, but everyone on the coast heard the bell-ringing voice, "Big sis, you fell for it." A circle of bizarre waves expanded from Sea Witch, covering Zhu Zuoqing and herself, then actually shut off Ning Rongrong's buffs by force. Sea Witch shifted in the air by 3 feet horizontally and dodged Zhu Zuoqing's pounce. As soon as the toes landed on the seawater's surface, the 2 legs turned back into a fishtail. With a twist, the large fishtail smashed against the falling Zhu Zuoqing. At this point, Daimyo Bai was very worried. He could tell that Sea Witch's attack and explosive force weren't that great, but her skills were variable and numerous. Complementing her mind reading and looks which people would easily fall for, she had firmly controlled Zhu Zuoqing and Ning Rongrong. Just then, Zhu Zuqing suddenly disappeared as Sea Witch swam towards the air with waves of distortion behind the fishtail. Her clear eyes had traces of fear, showing that she didn't understand why this would happen. Zhu Zuqing's mind could understand the mind reading, but everything before her was happening too quick. Of course Zhu Zuqing wouldn't disappear for real, because when the fishtail slammed her, her body was split up. That's right. It separated into dozens of figures scattered in mid-air. Every figure was seemingly real, and using the seawater's surface, they charged at Sea Witch at the same time. What she used was her own fourth spirit skill, Hell Shadow Doppelganger. Just then, Ning Rongrong at the coast side didn't apply buffs in a hurry, but flashed away and hid behind the sacred pillar. The situation had changed, and Sea Witch's adapting speed was incredibly quick. Facing multi-directional attacks, her body suddenly sped up, heading downwards instead of evading. With a plop, she disappeared into the seawater. Zhu Zuqing's thoughts were surely affected by mind reading, but Tang San's telepathy managed to let her make a difference. From Tang San's voice to Zhu Zuqing's Hell Shadow Doppelganger, it was just a blink of an eye, but Sea Witch couldn't sense anything for just a short moment. Wrong, be careful! Zhu Zuqing screamed while heading towards the sacred pillar from mid-air. Ends here. Today 2 episodes, good luck. Tomorrow 4. Please comments guys girls, likes and see you.